Now on YouTube, what's going on? Lankofski, and welcome back to Lou and Lank on The Mandalorian. It is the big finale today, episode 8, chapter 24 of The Mandalorian. I am once again joined by my fellow co-host, Lubicon.
Hello there.
I looked at the screen, I thought you were just going to nod.
Just nod, yeah.
Yeah, just not say it and just nod. Yes, as I said, we are going to jump into the events that happened in episode 8 of season 3, the finale. Just a quick synopsis from myself. Good episode, bad ending. Yeah.
No, bad episode, bad ending.
I thought it was a good episode. But yes, Lou's link is down in the description before we start, in case you want to go see his POV, but it'll be exactly the same because it's the same video.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know.
Yeah,
so just go down in the description. It'll be down there if you want to go show him some love. And let's jump straight back into this with the finale of season 3. The start of it pretty much cuts to the Mandalorians running through a tunnel, getting chased by stormtroopers. So pretty much, to an extent, where we left off. Yeah. After it was a big gun guy. What, Kit Fister? No, it wasn't.
Paz Vizsla died.
Paz Vizsla. I always say Kit Fister.
Yeah.
Paz Vizsla.
Bit of a difference.
Yeah, you take it from here, Lou.
And then obviously you've got, and then it cuts to Axe Wolves like returning to the surface because like halfway through the last episode he just like bailed, and then you're like, well, is he the spy? And then he gets back to the capital ship and he's like, yeah, we're in deep shit and you're about to get bombed because basically all the TIE bombers, the TIE interceptors are leaving to attack the ship as like a surprise attack. So they all bit onto the like the landing ships, I guess it is, and
like the attacking ships, like the
and then he stays, doesn't he?
Yeah, he stays and pretty much single-handedly to an extent.
He like operates it by himself.
Yeah, operates it, but it's weird because he goes and sits in what I'm assuming is the captain's seat. And he doesn't do anything, so I'm like, "What the fuck is he doing?" But that's it. He's like a T-Rex arm. He's literally just moving his thumbs, like. And at first he sat down and he was just sat there like that. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" Because I thought that's when the whole, "Oh shit, he's gonna be the spy. He's gonna like bomb the fucking Mandalorians or something." But that did not turn out to be the case.
Because like at the start when they're like bombing the ship, like it took so much damage, and then like it cuts like 10 minutes later, and it's still at the same point, and you're like,
yeah.
I get his timings and stuff, but yeah, and then the next scene is it cuts to Din Djarin, and he's been dragged off where we left off last time. He was captured, and I'm not a big fan of this fight scene. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm with that.
He like escapes through like tomfoolery. It's like akin to like I don't even know, like a Jar Jar Binks fight scene where he's just stumbling about.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And then the saving grace of Grogu comes and saves him in the
no.
And
Maggie
that set the tone pretty much. Not gonna lie, for the rest of the episode. Pretty much Grogu saves Din Djarin as something's about to happen. I think it's the last stormtrooper. The last stormtrooper has him by the throat with like a cable. And Grogu comes and saves him and knocks out the stormtrooper. Sorry, we're just getting a call.
And then we come to the real hero of the episode in the story, R5.
I'm going to quote my thing here. Weird R5 moment. That's all I've got. It's a weird R5 moment.
And then you get the droid that's like scared of everything. He like flies into the base and he's like, I need your help. So he reluctantly like flies in, which I don't understand. If he can get in that easily, why couldn't I just...
Yeah, that's the thing. It just fucking wound me up. I mean, for some reason, he looks over the edge and gets scared. But I know why that reason he looked at the edge and got scared. It was to swap from a CGI R5 to the actual real life, like.
I know, but it's just flown over.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So for a weird R5 moment, which spoilers is not the last weird R5 moment of the episode.
Still the hero though, and then it gets back to Axe Dwarves.
Yep.
And like you get this weird moment where like because I don't know what is to the atmosphere they can't like signals because when he's flying up he can't.
Yeah, it's all like storms in it, so it's like electromagnetic storms.
And then the drop ships just barely miss the TIE fighters, which, considering it's space, like obviously massive time scale, but the way it's shot, it looks like they barely miss each other, which I think one of them had hit it, but we move on anyway.
Yeah.
And then we come to episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Again. This. Correct me if I'm wrong or not. This I'm jumping a bit in front here. These laser curtains or laser fucking
the
shields. Are they supposed to like fucking kill you?
I don't think it's ever explained, is it? It's just
no, but like in episode 1 of The Phantom Menace, Darth Maul hits one with his lightsaber and it like retracts. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are so tentative not to touch these curtains because I'm assuming they are the same thing.
They're just lasers, aren't they? I don't know.
Yeah.
Shields,
so I'm assuming that they didn't want to touch them because they might fucking like chop an arm off or whatever you dip into it, it chops off or like fucking cuts off you. So then there's a big, massive fight that goes down with a Mandalorian, or with Din Djarin, sorry, and the
waves, though, isn't it?
of the waves of the stormtroopers that are guarding like Moff Gideon's control
I don't know. Why don't they separate though?
I don't know. And then like Din Djarin starts kicking fuck out at stormtroopers, and then he shoves one of the stormtroopers into the laser curtains. I'm just going to keep calling them laser curtains because it keeps coming to my head. It shoves it into the laser curtain, and then the stormtrooper just gets back up, and I'm like, "What is going on here?" Like, I was expecting just to see like, I was just expecting to see like half a body laid on the floor from where its head had been chopped off. So unless I'm getting wrong end of stick, or Disney have done the Disney thing of just fucking Star Wars up the arse because Disney and Grogu sells. But yeah, there were a big hallway fight where all the laser curtains were, and it was pretty fucking shit, to be honest.
Yeah, it was like one by one. So like one came out, and then you was like R5 opened the next door. So then the next door comes out. They all took it in turns, and you know.
Yep.
Surprise, surprise! Din Djarin, the main character, plot armor doesn't even get scratched.
No.
Oh, you also missed out the mouse droid.
No, that's the next bit, isn't it? The next bit is on the last laser curtain. Din Djarin's asking R5 to open the last curtain, and R5 gets found out by a little mouse droid, but then all of a sudden starts playing alarm tunes.
And it's like a little rat, isn't it?
Yeah, and then did R5 shock it or zap it?
He zaps it and then it goes off.
And then it fucks off, and then R5 opens the last curtain. Din Djarin kills the remaining stormtroopers, and then that little fucking mouse robot thing comes back with 6 of its friends and starts bullying R5, which I don't get why we keep having to have these weird moments in episodes that just mean nothing and just try and glorify a character that no one gives a shit about. It really gets to me.
Mouse droids. I like the little mouse droids.
I hate the mouse droids. I don't like R5.
But he lifts out above them.
Yeah, I know.
Beating away.
I don't
know if he's beating out, but.
And then, after that second weird R5 moment, we get to what I called in either the last episode or the episode before, where Din Djarin and Grogu are walking through the what are they called? Thingy tanks?
The BAFTA tanks.
BAFTA tanks, yeah. And it's got all the clones in. And I was right because they are all Moff Gideon's clones. I am a god. No one else fucking called it, but me, I am. Make me the director. That's all I'm saying.
It was a bit creepy when he opened his eyes.
Yeah, I know. I know. So pretty much they walk through the same hall as we saw last time, where all the tanks are with what we now know are Moff Gideon's clones. And then it cuts before we get to the next bit that I wanted to talk about. Well, it cuts away back to the Mandalorian army. Oh, what I say now is the Mandalorian army start to attack the base and spawn one of my least favorite battles in all of Star Wars. I don't know what your feelings of it were, Lou, but
it was a bit like a beehive. Like you had the stormtroopers and jetpacks flying at them, and then you had the Mandalorians, but like they weren't using guns. Like the armor was just like shanking people with their hammers.
Yeah.
Ball was just slicing them apart. And then
excuse me. Yeah, I do not like the whole flying stormtrooper thing. I think it's shit, and I really don't like it, and that's what made it crap for me. And I really
don't mind it, but like I don't understand why they're fighting them in the air.
No, it was supposed to be the big, like midway through battle, like there always has been in Star Wars. But it was, for me, it was bad because again, the stormtroopers were flying, it were all happening in the air. Like Lou said, the armorer wasn't using guns, but she was not getting shot, and it were all a bit Disney.
A bit all over the place.
Yeah, it were a bit Disney. Excuse me, I'm dying.
And then
yeah, and then we get to the bit that I did want to talk about. It's that Moff Gideon then shows up and has a bit of a talk with Din Djarin and explains that his clones were becoming
force sensitive.
Yeah, force sensitive, which I don't know how I feel like about that. I'm assuming they're force sensitive because of the experiments that is done on Grogu and shit like that from like obviously before season 1 and stuff like that. But I don't know how I feel about it personally. I don't like the whole you can clone something and make it force sensitive.
They're just trying to explain Snoke and Palpatine, really, aren't they? They're trying to like retcon it.
I don't know. It don't. Fan of it. Even if you are force sensitive, most of the time you don't know how to use it because you haven't been trained in it. You might be able to unlock it if you're angry or something like that. But like to just, oh yes, he's a clone and he's force sensitive. Now he's going to be a fucking Inquisitor or some shit like that. No, it don't settle. It don't settle with me. And then after that talk, and we find out about Moff Gideon's plans to make his clones force sensitive. We get a grand battle between Gideon and Din, which was, I mean,
a letdown,
inevitable, and also a letdown. I'll let you take it from here, Lou. I feel like you've got some strong thoughts.
It's just very back and forward because, like, it feels like everybody's fighting everybody, and it's just like it starts with Din Djarin fighting Moff Gideon, and he's like losing, and then he starts to win, and then the Praetorian Guards come out. And then he starts getting dicked by them, and then they're like start stabbing him in between the armor, and then you think it's gonna be another Paz Vizsla moment, and then once again Grogu comes out and spams no on the stupid IG-12 droid, and then he like runs away, and then they chase after him, and then Din Djarin's like no, so then Din Djarin like chases after them to stop him, and then Moff Gideon's like I'm not finished with you, so then he like. He pulls out like a fucking pocket knife worth of like. First he like stabs him, then he shocks him, then he shoots him with a rocket, then he grabs him with a thing, and it's just like to stop him saving Grogu, and then the blast door's shut, and you're like, uh-oh. And then
yet again, Din Djarin is in a perilous situation, and from 4 million miles away, Bo-Katan sees him and then rescues him, and then her final battle with Moff Gideon starts, and she pretty much says, "Go save Grogu, or go save the boy, or your boy." And
she says your son.
Oh, the son, yes. But all of a sudden, it's his son. That's to come. That is to come. I've got this in my notes. Yeah, so she starts to fight Moff Gideon, and Din Djarin goes off to fight the Emperor's guards to save Grogu, but not before we get another awful CGI Grogu jump. 1 per episode, please, Disney. I love them all.
It wasn't one. You did about 4 of them.
I know. The first one really got me. The other ones weren't too bad until.
And then you get like an Obi-Wan moment from Revenge of the Sith where he gets like trapped. Well, not even Revenge.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna say.
Trapped under the metal
pipes, metal things.
Down.
Oh
yeah,
God.
It was.
It literally, if he falls on the floor, the metal thing falls on him, and he goes, ugh, and then looks at it, and he's like, "You'd actually legitimately be crushed at this point." I don't understand what's going on.
I mean, could he not just use the force to lift it? Like I thought that was the whole.
Tough. I don't know.
It's just all over the place. It's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, and then we get Din Djarin bursts in and starts fighting the guards. And we finally see Grogu begin to wield the Force to help aid Din Djarin fighting the guards, which I actually quite liked, to be honest, because you could see that he were actually starting to feel the Force and start wielding it in a manageable way rather than just doing it out of instinct and stuff like that.
I don't think it was a bit slapstick, though.
Yeah, because it was just like sliding shit.
It was just throwing them about, and they were like slipping over banana skins almost. Just like it was
but again, he's not been trained in the ways of a Force, really. To be honest,
there was one moment where the Praetorian guards want to hit Din Djarin, and then he like slips over banana skin because Grogu's just gone like that.
Yeah,
and then the other one gets up and goes to hit, and it's just a bit. It wasn't the worst scene. It was just
I liked it for the whole. He's actually learning how to control it to an extent. Self-taught. Where are we? And then
they killed the guards, don't they?
Yeah, they kill the guards, and then we go back to Bo-Katan and Moff Gideon fighting, and I really do not understand the next bit. As they're fighting, we get like caught in like Moff Gideon pretty much catches Bo-Katan's arms, and then in one arm he crushes her arm or hand, which forces her to crush the Darksaber. So this thing that's been the emphasis of maybe 2 or 3 seasons of The Mandalorian is now just gone. For no explainable reason, it's just crushed and gone. So there is no more Darksaber, unless there's a new one that gets formed, but I doubt that. But yeah, you just see it in a crippled heap on the floor, and I don't get why. Don't get it. I don't get Disney.
This episode's full of them. Like you think something's gonna happen, and then it gets right to the edge, and then they pull back, and you're like,
yeah. And then we cut to pretty much Axe. Oh yeah, we cut back to Axe, who is now in a free falling flaming ball ship. And he pretty much just says, well, I think he calls Bo and tells her to get out because he's going to kamikaze the base, to destroy the base with the
ship.
Battleship, yeah. I know, I thought that, but it coincidentally fit, which is interesting. And then we really begin to get into serious issues for myself.
Well, it cuts back to the fight, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah.
And then Moff Gideon's like fighting him, and then I thought that was the moment where I was like, do you know what? This season's saved. They're gonna kill Bo-Katan. They built her up.
Yep. I thought this as well.
And then I'll let you finish it because it's
so
disappointing.
As they're fighting, Moff Gideon sort of gets pushed. Oh no, actually, before we start this, when Bo-Katan gets chucked at the floor and she's like on the edge of the platform, did you notice there were a little platform off the platform, which I thought was a hark back to The Empire Strikes Back? And I said to myself in my head, I'm like, if she gets on that platform and he turns around and says he's her father, I am going to commit several heinous acts on myself, because for some reason it just like my the world paused, and I had all these thoughts going through my head. And I thought, if she crawls out on there, and then he cuts her hand off, and something is said, I am going to lose my absolute shit. But luckily,
callback episode though.
They all have been, to be honest. I don't. I don't know.
It's fan service, isn't it?
Yeah, Disney are just trying to keep us teetering on the edge. Yeah, we're doing shit, but hey, look, we've got a callback to the better things. But anyway, we'll get back to the fight. So the fight in Moff Gideon gets pushed away pretty much by Grogu, Din, and Bo. And
you've missed the part where Moff Gideon takes off her helmet.
Where what?
He takes off her helmet when he's about to kill her.
Oh, I didn't see that bit.
Yeah, basically when he crushes the Darksaber, he takes off her helmet and he's about to kill her. And then she goes, I can't remember what the liner is. She says the one line like...
Oh, yeah, the Mandalorians are useless without their trinkets or something like that. And then she goes... Yeah. She say?
I can't remember.
The Mandalorians are a Mandalorian is never alone or something like that. I mean...
Yeah, and then Din Djarin just walks out and starts blasting.
Yeah, just starts pew pew, and then between three of them, they push Moff Gideon back towards the edge of a platform. And while all this is happening, all the fighting, Axe Wolf's the battleship, which does not have Axe Wolf on now because he's vacated, starts coming through the base or crashing through the base. There's a huge fireball. And then Moff Gideon pretty much just goes,
He does a Vader.
No. Worst scene in Star Wars history. I would rather watch Episode 9 in its entirety than hear that ever again. I hate it.
And then we get another callback to Rebels, which I know Lank hasn't seen.
No.
With the basically in Rebels, Kanan Jarrus, who's but I don't think he's in the series, but he was the Jedi, the main Jedi in Rebels. They're on an oil tanker, and the oil tanker explodes, and he like stops it and sacrifices himself to save the others. And it's pretty much the same.
Yeah. So Moff Gideon just goes for no reason, and then gets swallowed up by a fireball. Yeah. I don't understand why. He goes, He stood there. He's literally stood there and goes, and then a fireball engulfs him.
Try again.
No, that's what I mean. It's not like he's turned around and saw it. He just goes, But then he gets swallowed up by the fireball, which then in turn swallows Bo, Grogu, and Din up. And at this point, I've seen it somewhere before, so I don't know whether I've seen this clip you were on about. Excuse me. But I already knew about it, and I already thought it was going to happen. So basically, it becomes a cut in the fireball, which is still engulfing the area. And it's Grogu wielding the Force to protect all three of them in, like, I don't know, a Force bubble. So all the fire's just going around the outside. And yeah, I like I said, I knew that were going to happen once the fireball engulfed them. I don't know whether I've seen that somewhere before. I'm pretty sure I have, because if not, I wouldn't have known about it. They were a bit like Incredibles. Might have been where I've seen it.
Did you think it was funny that Bo-Katan pulled out a fucking shield, though, when it fucking happened? I was like, what's that going to do?
Yeah, it's a little shield that's about the size of my forearm. Yeah. So Grogu says Bo Din from fire with the Force, and I quote. And then, pretty much after that, I believe it cuts back to the Mandalorians.
It's the ceremony.
Yeah, in the waters of Mandalore, where
living waters.
Yeah, the living waters, and it's Paz Vizsla's son gets sworn in as a as a foundling, was it? It
was a foundling.
Yeah,
he took the oath, didn't he?
Yeah, to become
a Mandalorian.
To become a Mandalorian, which was quite a nice little roundabout thing, pretty of a tribute to Paz Vizsla. I, for some reason, thought when she were in the water, I thought we were going to get to see the Mythosaur.
We do a little bit,
Yeah, spoilers. But
this
yeah,
next part is my least favorite part.
Yes, I am so with you on that. Yes, I am so with you on that. It is a name.
Go on. After Paz Vizsla's son gets like sworn in, like Dinjar walks up with Grogu in his arms, even because IG-11 got destroyed. We forgot about it, but anyway, it is what it is. And anyway, he says he wants Grogu to take the oath, and she's like, he still can't speak, so he can't take the oath, so he's still he's still a thing, and he's like, all right, I want him to be my apprentice because he's trying to find a workaround. And then she's like, yeah, but no, because you don't like, he's not his parents. So then he's like, well, I adopt him. And they're just like, yeah, do you know what? You found a way, you found the loophole. So then they adopt him and they give him a name for the creed, and it's one of the worst names.
Oh god.
King Grogu, which to me doesn't really make much sense because why would it be at the start and not the end?
And then like, from that point, it's just like every character seems to want to say it, and it just grates on you more and more every time.
And then she like pulls the water, and it's like Din Grogu.
Yeah.
And then they all start like chanting and like banging the drums and shit. And then you see the Mythosaur wake up, and I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna like wake up, and that's gonna be the ending. But then it just nothing happens.
No, it pretty much like Grogu looks over into the living waters, and then it sort of like pans over and into the water, and it's like, it goes through the water, pretty much taking like a little tour underground, and then it pans in on the Mythosaur, and it's like sleeping, and then eyes open, and then yay, misdirection, we're off somewhere else.
And then they like the Great Forge, don't they?
Yep. Great Forge gets restarted, which is quite cool, and Axe Wolf's there and starts chanting Mandalore or Mandalorians or for Mandalore or for Mandalorians, something along those lines.
And then it's and then they just do the last like 10-20 minutes. It's just like a quick tour around the rest of the fucking episodes. They just go back to every location they've been to.
Yeah, pretty much. Din Djarin goes back to the bar where the
New Republic bar.
Yeah, New Republic bar to find the old pilot from a couple of episodes ago, and pretty much says he wants to be what's the word?
He wants to be a bounty hunter again.
Yeah, he wants to be a bounty hunter, but for the New Republic. Basically,
he wants to be a contractor.
Yeah, contractor. That's the word. Pretty much wants to be an anti-inquisitor, but without the lightsaber, if that makes sense. So he's pretty much going around hunting down, or he wants to go around hunting down the leftovers of the Empire after obviously what's happened.
Didn't grow by his side.
Yes.
Do you see the Dave Filoni cameo as well?
No.
Yeah, Dave Filoni was in the bar again.
Oh, what it? No.
Yeah, he was wearing the cowboy hat.
And that's Jon Favreau not having a fucking...
He might be. I just don't know what Jon Favreau looks like. Honestly.
Oh, well, I'm opposite. I know what Jon Favreau looks like, and not Dave Filoni.
And then you get... and then it pans to all like the helmets, and then you see an IG-11 head.
Mm-hmm.
And like Grogu's like, I want it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'll do the contract, but I want the head. And then it cuts back to Navarro, doesn't it?
Yeah, it cuts back to Navarro, and we get as last glimpse of Apollo Creed for the season, and pretty much Mando comes back, and Apollo says, I've got a nice little shack for you out in so-and-so places.
Out in the sticks.
Yeah, out in the sticks. And then Din Djarin says, yep, that's fine by me, but I've got a present for you. And then pretty much IG-11's back, but as the town sheriff?
Yeah.
To an extent.
I thought they were going to bring Cara Dune back. I was like, they brought Cara Dune back.
That'd be sick.
I was like, there's a sheriff, it's Cara Dune.
But would it be Gina? You reckon it'd have been Gina? Oh god!
I mean, she wants to do it. I just don't know.
You can't have another character play her, and I think she should come back. To be honest, I think she was a great character. It does help that she's slightly attractive, and say slightly, she's very attractive.
They got rid of her for like political reasons. It was nothing to do with her acting or.
No. And then, yes, another really awful part of this, as we cut to the final shot of Din Djarin sat in his new house. Yeah, and he's on like the patio, just rocking back and forth on a rocking chair, and it's slowly panning out while Grogu is messing with the yes, I didn't want to say that. While Grogu is messing, like using the Force on the frogs, which is hark back to one of the earlier seasons, I believe, isn't it? Yeah. And so basically Din Djarin's in the background, rocking on a rocking chair, and Grogu's in the foreground, fucking using the Force on some frogs, throwing them through the air, and then it ends. That is the final shot of season 3 and of episode 8, chapter 24. And I'm going to quote from my notes in capital letters: "Where the fuck are the spies?" That's that's my lasting thoughts of the episode. Well, same. I've got good episode, shit ending. That's what the last.
All the speculation, and there wasn't even a spy, unless you count that biscuit lady. But
that's another thing. We didn't even see the biscuit lady. Know what happened to her, so she couldn't be the main antagonist in fucking episode in season 4.
I watched all the credits, thinking they're gonna have like a little teaser.
Oh, I didn't even think about
it. No, there's just nothing. Yeah. It was just like shots of all the different planets. I was like, all right then.
Yeah. Like you said, there were no biscuit lady. We didn't get an ending on that. We don't know what's happening with that.
Find out what happened to that doctor.
Didn't find it yet. Didn't find out what happened to Doctor. He's just nowhere.
There's no mention of the Shadow Council.
No.
In the last episode.
No. So basically, the last episode, episode 7, was really good and set up so many things, but was about 3 episodes too late and just like.
Well, Disney have a habit of that, don't they? Setting things up in episode 7 and fucking them up in episode 8.
So my thoughts on the last episode were good episode, shit ending, with some really annoying parts in it. My thoughts on the series as a whole are
throwaway season.
Yes, it was a filler season.
My problem is it should have happened. Episode 8 should have been episode 5. Or 4.
Yeah,
should have been a lot
earlier. Absolutely. I think the whole season could have been a lot better with the events that they made, but for some reason they filled it out with shit episodes that didn't need to be in there, or as long. I don't know.
My biggest issue was they started all these things was like the clones, like with Moff Gideon, and then and then he just kills them off.
Yeah.
You see the Mythosaurs alive, and then nothing happens with it.
Yeah, no, it comes back to that.
Like you finally get the Darksaber return to Bo-Katan, and then it's just destroyed. You find out that Moff Gideon's like got these like Beskar alloy, and then he's just everyone dies.
Yeah.
It's just so much happens, and then it just doesn't go anywhere.
That was something that I thought about actually while they were fighting. Moff Gideon and Bo-Katan were. He seemed to be like a step ahead of her all the time. Now, do you think that he could have possibly been one of the clones? And he was Force sensitive. That's why he was always somewhat of a step ahead of her. So the real Moff Gideon is still out there somewhere.
He's dead.
I think that could be a stretch or something like that. But that's what I was thinking when there was that fight going on. Because I would just.
The problem I've heard that they cut a lot of content from this season because they want to include it in the movie that's coming up. That's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but like it would make sense to Disney, you know.
Well, yeah. Like I said,
I'm surprised there was no Book of Boba Fett though. Like no Boba Fett in it.
Yeah.
It was gonna be a cameo.
To be quite honest, we didn't even visit Tatooine once, or did we?
No, thank fuck for that.
No, which that's why I think we kept it separate. I don't even think there'll be a second season of Book of Boba Fett. To be honest, I think that's just I think that's just gonna be a standalone thing. For some reason, when I think about this season overall, I feel like this has been Filoni and Favreau wanting to do what they want to do, but Disney have kept them on a short leash and says, no, cut all this shit out that's pretty cool, and we've ended up with the shit bits. How much of that is true, I don't know, but that's my personal thoughts, because why it was so much invested is not the right word. So much shown and so much potential, and then everything just ends in a blunt, pointless way, or just doesn't get anything brought about. I don't know. I think it is a very Disney season.
It felt like they were very much trying to fix all the mistakes of the sequels and try to explain everything away.
The only way we could fix the sequels if someone just like
goes back in time.
Yeah, we need Deadpool now. But yeah, that's pretty much the only way we could fix the sequels.
Strange, just like snap it, gone. Like
someone just takes over the internet and deletes every single copy, and we're all just sat here like, there's no copies of it, so it must have been a bad dream. Yeah. What your thoughts on the episode and the series as a whole, Lou?
I think the series is good. I think it's definitely probably the weakest season
by far. One that promised so much, but again, it just didn't deliver.
I'm a bit confused at where they're going to go with season 4, because I know they haven't confirmed the season 4, but I'm pretty sure they've already started filming it. So
I don't know. Pedro Pascal's been pretty busy, hasn't he?
I don't really know where they can go from it. Are they just going to go back to like the season 1 formula where Din Djarin and Din Grogu are now bounty hunters?
We stopped calling him Din Grogu.
I know it grinds gears. But you know what I mean? Like, is it just going to be a season of them going around like being a bounty hunter and shit, or is it like?
That's the thing, isn't it? Do they go back to that?
I think that the Mythosaur would be a key thing.
Yeah. Is it going to be now? Is it going to be split between? Obviously, because it's called the Mandalorian. Is it going to be split between Din doing his thing and Bo-Katan trying to resurrect the Mandalorian race and Mandalore itself? And then obviously we get parts of the Mythosaur. Is it going to be intertwined with the Ahsoka series and Luke comes back to train Grogu, or is Ahsoka going to train? I'm in the same boat as you. I ain't got a fucking clue where we're going with it now, to be quite honest.
Will we have to wait another 2 years for it as well?
Pretty much.
I think the wait was that was another problem. The wait was that long. People were just like,
yeah, but it were filming Last of Us as well, wasn't it? So he's been saying that he's been.
But he's not in half the episodes anyway. These stunt doubles.
Yeah, I know, but it's still got to voice him over, haven't we? Stuff like that. But yeah, he's been a very busy guy lately as Pedro Pascal. Mm-hmm. Any closing thoughts?
Hope season 4's a bit better, and yeah, hopefully we'll carry on this series into the Ahsoka series.
Absolutely.
Later this year. I think it's August, isn't it?
I'm not quite sure. I am very hyped for the Ahsoka series, although since seeing the trailers, I don't know what it was about the trailers, but since seeing the trailers, I have gone off it a bit. Everything looked a bit meh to me. And whenever Ahsoka were in, were in Book of Boba Fett or were it season 2?
She was in The Mandalorian.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. So whenever she's been on screen, basically, she's been badass. She's probably my favourite character in Star Wars, which is weird, seeing as I haven't watched the Clone Wars, but, you know, I don't know why.
Or Bad Batch. Rebels, sorry.
But yeah, that's our roundup of Season 3 and the final series of Season 3 as well as a whole. Like Lou said, this will be carrying on, or should be carrying on, to other series that come out, especially the Ahsoka series, because we're both pretty much looking forward to that. So please do subscribe if you would like to see more of that content in the future whenever it does come out. if you did like the video, please do consider liking down below. Lou's link is down below to go watch his POV if you would like. And yes, that's all I'm going to say. I hope you enjoyed the series, and we shall see you for the next series, whenever that should be.
Adios.
Peace.